Family Matters was a beloved sitcom that brought laughter to millions. But did you know that one shocking moment played a major role in its downfall? What exactly happened behind the scenes that led to the show's unexpected end? From its rise as a 90s favorite to growing tensions, cast conflicts, and one infamous episode that changed everything. This is the untold story of how Family Matters quietly fell apart. When Family Matters first appeared on television, no one could predict it would become one of the most recognizable sitcoms of the 1990s. The show was born from Perfect Strangers, a popular ABC comedy, created by William Bickley and Michael Warren. The connection came through the character of Harriet Winslow, played by Jo Marie Payton, who worked as an elevator operator at the Chicago Chronicle. Producers Thomas L. Miller and Robert L. Boyd immediately saw potential in Harriet's warm, grounded personality and decided to build an entirely new series around her family. That decision led to the premiere of Family Matters on September 22, 1989, on ABC. The show followed the Winslows, a middle-class African-American family living in Chicago, and centered on everyday struggles, humor, and heart. Harriet's husband, Carl Winslow, played by Reginald VelJohnson, was a police officer, which gave the show a unique angle. Carr had also appeared in Perfect Strangers, making the transition between shows feel natural and seamless rather than forced. From the beginning, Family Matters stood out. At a time when television lacked diverse family representation, the Winslows felt real and relatable. The early episodes focused on parenting, work-life balance, marriage, and moral lessons that audiences of all backgrounds could connect with. It wasn't just funny, it had heart. That balance quickly earned the show a loyal following. The series soon found home in ABC's iconic TGIF lineup, a Friday night block that turned sitcoms into cultural events. Week after week, families gathered around their TVs, and Family Matters became a staple of American households. But everything changed when one unexpected character walked through the Winslows' door. Steve Urkel made his first appearance in episode 12 of season 1, titled Laura's First Date. Played by Jaleel White, Urkel was only meant to be a one-time guest, a nerdy, awkward neighbor designed to add a bit of comic relief. But audiences immediately fell in love with him. His high-pitched voice, clumsy movements, oversized glasses, suspenders, and catchphrase, "Did I do that?" turned him into an instant sensation. The response was so overwhelming that producers rewrote the entire direction of the show. Steve Urkel went from guest star to series regular to the undisputed centerpiece of Family Matters. Ratings surged. Kids imitated him. Merchandise exploded. Urkel became one of the most recognizable TV characters of the decade. But success came with a price. As Urkel's role grew, the original premise of Family Matters slowly faded. What had once been a family-focused sitcom became increasingly centered on Steve's antics. Storylines shifted from everyday life to science experiments, cloning machines, and over-the-top comedy. Some fans loved it. Others felt the show had lost its soul. Behind the scenes, the shift caused serious tension. Jo Marie Payton, who had been the foundation of the series as Harriet Winslow, saw her screen time shrink dramatically. The show that had been built around her family was no longer about the family. It was about Urkel. That change frustrated many cast members, especially Payton, who later admitted she felt sidelined and ignored. The friction reached its breaking point during the 9th and final season. According to Payton, she and Jaleel White got into a heated argument over a scene he wanted to perform. She believed it crossed network standards and spoke up. The disagreement escalated, and Payton later said White wanted to fight her on set. For her, that was the final straw. After more than a decade on the show, she decided to walk away. Her departure was a devastating blow. Harriet Winslow was the emotional anchor of Family Matters, and without her, the show felt incomplete. But the real turning point came with one controversial episode that aired in season 9, an episode that many fans believe sealed the show's fate. Titled Original Gangster Dude, the episode introduced Steve Urkel's cousin, Ojdi, also played by Jaleel White. Unlike the sweet, harmless Steve, Ojdi was aggressive, intimidating, and crude. He flirted aggressively with Laura Winslow, spoke in slang-filled dialogue, and became involved in a storyline about a $4,000 debt to a thug. For longtime viewers, The episode felt jarring and out of place. Family Matters had always been family-friendly, warm, and grounded in values. Suddenly, it was dealing in stereotypes and uncomfortable humor. The backlash was immediate. Fans flooded forums and critics panned the episode, accusing the show of losing touch with what made it special. Ratings dropped sharply. At the same time, production was becoming more difficult. Jaleel White's influence over the show had grown, and his demanding presence reportedly created strain among the cast. White later admitted that the pressure of carrying the series affected him personally and professionally. The atmosphere on set became tense, and the once-close ensemble no longer felt united. Meanwhile, the show faced another major challenge, a network move. For its 9th season, Family Matters was moved from ABC to CBS. The decision was meant to revive the series and strengthen CBS's Friday night lineup. Instead, it hurt the show even more. The new time slot didn't attract the same audience, and many longtime fans didn't follow the series to its new home. The magic of TGIF was gone. By this point, key cast members were missing, storylines felt disconnected, and the tone of the show had shifted too far from its roots. Attempts to introduce new characters and fresh plots failed to reignite interest. Viewership continued to decline, and it became clear that Family Matters could not recover. The final episode aired on July 17, 1998, ending the show after 9 seasons and 215 episodes. The finale, Lost in Space. Part 2 focused on Steve Urkel returning from space and symbolized his personal growth. While some fans appreciated the closure, many felt it was a far cry from the simple, heartfelt show they had fallen in love with years earlier. The end of Family Matters marked the close of an era. In the years that followed, the cast went their separate ways. Reginald VelJohnson continued working steadily, appearing in shows like Will and Grace, CSI, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and even returning to his role in Turner and Hooch. Jo Marie Payton transitioned into voice acting, most famously voicing Suga Mama on The Proud Family, and continued appearing in TV roles. Jaleel White moved on to other projects, including voice acting as Sonic the Hedgehog, guest appearances on major shows, and writing his memoir Growing Up Urkel, where he reflected honestly on fame and the impact of his character. In later years, he also launched a business inspired by his iconic role, proving that Urkel's legacy still followed him decades later. Other cast members faced different paths. Jamie Foxworth, who played Judy Winslow, struggled after being quietly written off the show and later spoke openly about personal hardships. Kelly Shania Williams stepped back from acting to focus on family, while Darius McCrary continued working in film and television, navigating both success and personal.